Hi guys, I am Nu-Trix of a Synth Guy. Today we're talking about how to record sound into a DAW while being able to monitor what's already recorded in there without having feedback. I know it's a long title, but it's basically one of the problems you get when you hook up an interface with any DAW in the iPad. And there's many ways to look at it and how to do it, so I'll try to explain the problem that you find and the different type of answers you can find to do it. And especially in this case I'm going to use the Rubix 44 because with that one I found a way to do it. I had a problem with this video. After this moment I tried a lot of things to actually record using the Rubix, and everything I got was a loopback, was a feedback or flanging sound. So I didn't understand why. So I said, I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to understand a little bit on. I'm going to do testing and all that before I actually talk about it, because it can't be this bad. It has to be a way to do it. And I extrapolated and I actually find a way around it. I finish my video, I do the editing, and then I say, well, let's look at the manual if there's any more information. And then look in the manual and there's my answer. The loopback is the one thing you want to play with if you want to record or not what's coming in. So my trick of using 4 of them, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video, because now you have to know. Well, the loopback is a feature that if you use the loopback correctly, you don't need to split 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can use the 4 of them at the same time. So you can use this as a 4-track input to record into your computer when the loopback is off. So the loopback is a little switch at the back of the Rubix 44. And when the loopback is on, it actually sends back a mix of what's coming in plus the playback of the DAW back into your recording. So this is mainly used for live streaming. That's their logic, is to say, well, I'm playing back the computer, I'm recording, let's say, my microphone, and I'm mixing the 2 of them, and this is going in live stream for YouTube, for example. Which is okay, which is really good, but if you're recording music, you want to record a solo instrument while listening and monitoring to the rest of the mix without having the mix mixed in right away. You want a solo instrument, so you want to turn off the loopback. I will explain in this video, if the loopback is on, how to do it, and if the loopback is not on, well, you don't need to do that. You can just use it correctly. So I have the circuit here. I'm just going to see. You should be able to hear something. Let's test this out. You have nothing. Okay, we have some sound. Because here, right now what I have is the circuit is sent in stereo in 3 and 4, and if I want to listen to it, I have to bring up the monitor, direct monitoring 3 and 4. So that's what I hear. I hear the playback. So basically it's kind of a little mixer if you want. What's going into 3 and 4 is also being sent with this volume here to the headphones and to the output here. Then my problem is, if I want to record, let's say I only have 1 and 2. I'm going to turn off this. I'm going to connect into 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I only have a 2 in, 2 out. Okay? Connect into 1 and 2. And I'm going to say I'm going to receive from 1 and 2. And I'm going to send to 1 and 2. So what's coming in is 1 and 2. Should be 1 and 2. I have no sound here. If I'm bringing this, actually, I'm also going to be sending MIDI. I'm going to send MIDI clock. Okay? And I'm going to go to the beginning, and if I press play, if I press stop, if I press play, stop, actually it works. Okay, this one is following. Circuit is slave of
the DAW here, the Cubasis, because also I connected the MIDI out of the Rubix 44 into the MIDI in of the circuit, so now it's slaved through MIDI to Cubasis. So I have that track. I verify into routing that is in stereo input and stereo output. I could click here and select mono if I want to, or inter-replication, and I've got stereo output. I can say, in this case, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but let's imagine I only have a 2 in, 2 out. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's delete these, erase, and let's record that. I'm going to erase that second part here. Oh, I said stereo. I don't need to record that one. Turn that one off. That, I'm going to erase that one. I don't need that one. I just need to erase this one and erase that one. So I only have this one, the first one. So now I'm just listening to the playback. Okay, fine. Everything's there. But then that's not how I want to record, honestly, because this is just all the playback, everything. Let's say I just want to record first, let's say the bass. Go back to mixer in this case, mute everything. So I'm going to have just this, just my synth on one track. Then I'm going to have the other synth on the other track. Then I'm going to have this, maybe just that sound. And then the other track will have this. Okay, so I'm going to separate in 3 different tracks, so then I can mix, actually. So let's try that. I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to go record that. Okay, let's go. Okay, so that's my first, and it's synced, so it's recorded on time. I'm going to take the other track. I'm going to say that one also gets in 1 and 2 and play back on 1 and 2. Okay, that would be if I only have a 2 in, 2 out. And then I'm going to mute this one, and I'm going to take, let's say, all the drum sounds. So I'm going to have drum. Let's just, for the sake of having 2 different things. Actually, no, just this one. Okay, let's go. Okay. Now if I listen to just this one, we got a problem. If I unsolo this and I press play, oops, whoa, wait a sec. I don't want to record that. Delete and delete. And I'm going, what I have here, it's in double. So what I have is that when I put solo on the second track, instead of having just the drum, I have the bass also. But the bass is not coming off this circuit. The bass is actually the playback of Cubasis being sent to the internal mixer, if you want, of the sound card, the Rubix 44, and then it's mixed with what's coming in, and that's the thing I'm recording. I'm recording again the original, the playback plus the original sound sending in. So it means that in this case, I cannot do a valid recording of a new track without having the looping of the feedback, if you want, of the original sound into this. So the simple way to do this is to actually mute the track. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to mute the track that was actually playing back here. Take off the recording, and I'm just going to record then without listening to the original one. To record that. So I'm going to go erase that part. So if I bring the volume down now, and I press play and I listen to the 2 of them, so I've got the bass on this one, and I've got the kick on this one. Okay, but then the problem is, again, if I want to listen to these 2 and I want to record on the third one, and the third one will be the other sound I'm using. Bring the volume up, and I say I'm going to record that. Then my problem is it's going to be mixed with the two tracks that are being played back, so I listen to them. It will be added to the new sound I'm recording. I don't even have a thing. Oh, no. We'll click on this one. It's actually recording the wrong track. Okay. Sorry. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, so now if I bring the volume down here and I press play, if I put the last one in solo, it has everything. It's a mix down, which is not what I want. So the logic to get rid of that problem, you actually need more than 2 inputs and 2 outputs. Or there has to be some type of virtual mixer inside your sound card that separates the playback from the source. It's possible because you could say, I want to record 1 and 2. So what I'm going to actually send from my sound card into my DAW is 1 and 2. That's it. And it will go directly into the USB, like it's a direct link to the USB out into the DAW. And you want to listen to the playback of the DAW, so it's going to be a computer playback if you want, sent into the headphones. So you could, depending on how the sound card is made, say that when I'm listening to output or headphones, I want to listen to the computer out, not the direct input. So in this case, you bring down the direct input monitor, and in theory, you should be able to listen to the playback. So let's try this again. I'm going to go erase. You see, I don't have, is there a monitoring through this? Because now my problem is lacking monitor off of Cubase, because I should be able to get these two and the output of that one, because now if I go back here and I press play, I should have my original sound source there. So one way to do it in this one is actually I unconnect from the first 1 and 2 and I connect into 3 and 4. And now I'm always going to use 1 and 2 as the computer playback or the DAW playback, and 3 and 4 is going to be recording. And then I can actually use them without being mixed together. And then I will not have that problem or even feedbacks. So I'm going to take, these are already recorded, so I'm not going to change them. I'm going to go to the third one and say the stereo input is going to come from 3 and 4. And the output will be 1 and 2. So now if I press play on this one, I can bring the volume here. I actually hear it. This is sent to the headphones, so we hear what's happening. But it's also being sent to this one to record on 1 and 2. But because we're recording 1 and 2, no, we're actually recording 3 and 4 and playback on 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is not being sent back into 3 and 4, so it will not record the playback of the DAW. So let's go back to the beginning, press record. Actually, I should be listening to the other one also. Let's start that. I'm going to unmute these so we're going to hear everything on record. Here we go. And let's actually delete that one. So let's start at the beginning and, okay, playback, record. So we hear the playback and it will record the new track. Press stop and you have the recording. And we were able to listen to the track 1 and 2 and record on 3 and 4. So having 4 of them is a big plus. I'm in LoopBack off, so what's playing back into the card is not sent back into the DAW. So I don't need
3 and 4 anymore. I'm just going to use 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 as an input and 1 and 2 as an output, and it works. So I'm going to go record. These are synced already, so I'm going to press. It's going to be ready to record. I'm going to press play. Just as my bass line playing. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to go back to beginning, take the second track, and that one's going to be, I'm going to go right away for the drum. Okay, just the drum. And let's go back to beginning and record that part. Let's just do that, but it's okay. Let's see. I'm going to move this one. I'm going to erase the first one, erase. I'm going to keep the second version. That's going to be it. And for the fun, can I go in and edit? Where's the... I'm going to normalize this. There you go. And I'm going to normalize that one. So it's going to be loud now. So now I'm going to... It's in sync. And I don't hear this thing anymore. Okay? If I go here, turn these off, and what I'm listening is what's recorded. I didn't have to use LoopBack or not, so that's it. I hope this is a little bit clearer on what to do. If you like what I'm doing, thumb up, and see you next time. Cheers.